It's been a little bit since we sat down and talked about LARP, but here we are. This LARP experience is a little different than my others because it was one of the first times I was actually asked to work an event. Not as like a special guest or anything like that, but to be an NPC for players. 2022 actually offered, I believe, both of my first encounters with being an NPC. I'm usually either a player or invited as a guest, which is still a player. But this was the first time where I was like, okay, well, one of the first times where I was like, okay, I am being paid to do this thing. Okay. So what's the actual LARP that I'm talking about? The LARP that I'm talking about is Starfall Academy. So if you basically have any interest in sci-fi, if you are a Star Wars nerd, Star Trek as well, and anything under the sun similar to those, you might find yourself interested in being able to play in a world that is very similar, but not the same for legal reasons. No, but for legal reasons, it's not the same. I had actually been flown out to the East Coast for 2 events. One of those is Drachenfest US. One of those is Drachenfest US, and the other one is Starfall Academy. Basically, I just want to tell you my thoughts on Starfall, what it was like working there, and whether or not I had a good time. Unfortunately, I will not be joining Starfall for 2023 because I have some time constraints, which is kind of a surreal thing to say, only because if you know anything from watching my social media and like looking, I've been in a very interesting state in 2022. It was one of the hardest years of my life. So it's good to kind of be back to something, even if it is being busy. So one thing is if you go onto the Starfall Academy website, now Starfall is actually put on by Quest Gaming. So Quest has put on other events as well. But the only one I've actually attended is Starfall Academy. The only one I've worked or been to at all is Starfall Academy. And it did run for 2 weeks. I believe it's still going to run for 2 weekends. It's a 4-day adventure. And if you go to the Starfall Academy website, you can read a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, rules and handbook and things like that are going to be very important for people to see. But there's so much lore, and you get to learn about different planets that certain groups are from, like Anara, that I get to play, which is really funny, going back to me playing a character like that, because when we were, I believe it was a staff meeting, there was talk about like, is anyone gonna do any cool like makeup? And then I think somehow it came on to me, and it was like, you want to do anything cool? Just kidding, you don't have to, because they were just joking around. Like, yeah, you're gonna paint yourself? Nah, you don't have to. That's a lot of work for 2 weekends. But they were like, nah, we're just kidding. That's a lot of work for 2 weekends. And I was like, challenge accepted. And they were like, I mean, if you want to. So I committed to painting myself blue for 2 weekends. 2 entire weekends. Which again, the worst part of it was waking up early because it's like it's staff, I gotta be up, I gotta go for morning announcements in class, gotta get breakfast, gotta make sure I'm pip cheerio and all that. Mostly my face and just my décolleté, having to like paint that every day. 8 days, so 2 weeks. But yeah, being able to take hold and actually help represent a certain group of students, because not everyone's gonna come to this game wearing stockings on their hands and legs and painting their face to be like green or blue or purple or whatever color they're going to be. Not every student's going to do that. Majority will not do that because, it takes a lot. That's really one of the greatest parts, I think, about being like anara or any other group that had to change their looks in dramatic ways, is that you're kind of just I see that player over there also playing anara. We see each other.
I see you. We good. Okay. We good. I see. We see each other. We see each other. We good.
It's like going to an event where everyone else are elves, and then you're both hobbits, you and this other person is a hobbit, and you're both just but yeah, so you can go onto the website and see all of those good things. Like I said before, rules, regulations, tickets, lore, different planets that have importance in the storyline, different historical figures, which do read it, because I actually used a historical figure in the last game, and I brought up their name, and the students were like, "Who's that?" And I was just like, "You don't know about the master who was lost to the shadow?" I can only speak about Benafari things in terms of experience, because I only experienced being a Benafari. So that's why I'm not talking about the other sects as much, which were just as cool and just as exciting. And from our meetings and with the school, school announcements, and seeing everyone in the main hall every morning, everyone was having a great time with their sect and bonding, and there was just something special about every single one. And I would like to say that a lot of us got along pretty darn well. There was amazing costumes. Of course, it wasn't the 100% best thing in the world. And of course, there's bound to be this felt a little different from this. Say one weekend might have felt more complete than another one, but you also have to think about how tired you are and how you have different sets of players, and everyone's needs are completely different, and you as a person might not be the same from one weekend to the next weekend. So you really have to just go in both times with the best of intentions, and realize that one set of players is not going to be the same as the other set of players, and that is okay. That's something I had to tell myself. Each weekend was great and full of great, amazing, wonderful players, and thank you so much if you came out to Starfall Academy to play games, support Quest, your friends, people who you've met on the internet or see on the internet, whatever you came for. Of course, while it was great, there were still many things that I think needed to be worked on, many changes that needed to happen. But unlike most games, when I walk away like that, thinking about the changes and things that need to happen, this is one of the first where I was I just need to sit with it for a little bit, not because anything terrible or jarring happened to me or anyone else that I know of, but because it was so different and so nice that I didn't want to sit in the critiques for too long. But also, I do want to say, this is my opinion and critique as someone getting a paycheck, if that makes any sense. So I also want you to take that for what it is as well. But also more than that, I want to thank the one person who actually made this experience wonderful. I was trying to find a word for it. Wonderful? Spectacular. Grand? Yeah. One of those words. This was my friend Kaza, because one, I wouldn't be there if she had not put my name into the ring. Two, you know, she constantly fought for agency, whether for players, for staff members, for herself, for me, whoever. She put a lot of her heart and soul and her own property into this game and into Quest, whether through donations, advice, helping hand, whatever it may be. She did bring a lot of props. Like her set dressing. Set dressing was wonderful. She did a lot, especially when it came to trying to make sure things were like functioning well for players. A big concern that I noticed, I don't know if she did, but one that I noticed was just the concern for players and their agency, their safety, and their comfort. And that's a really important thing. So I think it showed like really great leadership, and it made the experience really fun for a lot of people. So. My friend Kaza Marie, she basically had referred me to them because, you know, she always tries to get me into a lot of the LARP scene. And in fact, like, I don't know, she's always encouraging me and like encouraging like all of her friends really to like be more than what you are and go after the things that you're searching for. And she's given me a lot of confidence in myself when it comes to like creation and things. So here she comes, small cute Kaza, and you know, she's just like, listen, on the phone, because she was selling it to me. We were talking about some things, and then she started selling me on Starfall and was like, yeah, you know, like there's a position open, like, you know, you want to. And so from there, after a long talk with her, I was sold. But yes, I played anara, and I was also a part of the Benafari, which the Benafari, and actually all of them, all of the different sectors, all played a really big part of the story. When it came to being a Benafari, though, we being a Benafari was like the ultimate, like, find yourself, like you're in this mode, man, like find your light, like don't focus on the shadow, find your inner person, and like find what is within you, and connect with other people, and use meditation to guide yourself through, and to collect these other people, your friends, right, your prism, as we called them, who are gonna help you on the battlefield. And when you get your spark and you get called to Starfall and you get put in Benafari and you're repping blue, you realize it comes off like a chill little sect, but Benafari kicks ass. So Starfall took place on a campus, and like a college campus, and like it really worked out, in my opinion. The whole college campus thing really worked out, and you know, walking through campus and getting set up and watching these banners come down of like the different sects and the logo for Starfall Academy in 2 different places on campus, these huge banners, and seeing like all the different props they put around the campus to actually make it immersive for us. The Benafari room, actually, both of the classrooms were my favorite classrooms. Not because it was just our classroom, but because Kaza had put so much time and energy into making like the meditation chamber actually feel like a meditation chamber. So the meditation chamber felt like a meditation chamber, and that was one of the classrooms where we would really hone, as we called it, hone our light, and work on speaking to the light in one of our classes, which was bomb. And the other classroom was more just like still like a bright, calming aura. They were vastly different from each other, and we really liked that contrast of like dark, cool space with like warm earth. Like it was, when it comes to the mechanics of the game, and being a staff member, there were some things that I think other staff members also could like maybe need to have some tweaking here and there. We also did have some players alert us to some things that might make things a little bit more accessible and fun. And I think the best thing is that because it was the first run, being able to really help and guide players, and I keep saying but like being able to mold the experience of other people by giving them little tidbits, or because I got to teach a class or 2 or however, because I got to teach a class, which I love teaching, that was actually a lot of fun, being able to actually look at a group of people and in my mind be like, this is my class, these are my students, you know, I'm a knight, I am Knight Tara Array, Benafari, and being able to have them go, Knight Tara, like, how do I do this? Knight Tara, can you teach me about the light? Knight Tara, can you teach me about the shadow? And I don't want to push too much about the lore and things onto you in this video, because I really want you to be able to go and research and read through the Starfall website on your own so that you can actually get a feel for it. This is just touching base on a little bit of stuff. But yes, Starfall is in fact running again in 2023, Melanari. If you understand what that means, Melanari, then I'm not going to explain what the Melanari is. That's not a Starfall Academy thing from the company. That is a player and new friend thing that we made. I'm not going to explain it, but Melanari, here's looking out. Yeah, Starfall Academy is running in 2023. You can get your tickets if you would like to participate. Again, thank you to Quest, all the people that worked on Starfall, everyone who attended, and a grand thank you to Kaza Marie. Starfall would not have been the same without all of you. And for me, in my experience, it would have never been the same without Kaza. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say, and I hope that you liked this video. If you did like this video, you should definitely think about, you know, the subscribing, the liking, you know, follow me on the Twitter, the Instagram, the Instamammogram, you know, that kind of stuff. You can follow me on TikTok as well. I'm basically on all forms of social media. Yes. And I'll see you later. Okay.